It's weird to do this out loud here when I'm closest. Hello, YouTube. It's me, John Avenger, once again. And welcome back to Comic Book and Superhero Month. This time we're doing a 2018 American action comedy. It's not really a lot of action in it. It's a little bit. Directed by Zach Knutson, who wrote the screenplay with Andy Sipes and Dana Snyder. It stars an ensemble cast of mostly foreigners. There's a couple of American actors in it too. Ryan Quatten, I never even heard of this guy. Maggie Grace, beautiful girl. Mike Epps, he's probably the funniest thing in the movie. Russell Peters, Clancy Brown, who plays a great douchebag villain, and John Malkovich, yeah. That's Supercon from 2018. Yeah, I finally finished this movie so I could review it. It counts. They're in a comic book convention. It counts. The film was simultaneously released in limited theaters, probably in Canada because that's where they probably filmed it, and on VOD in the U.S. on April 27, 2018, and then it came out on DVD and Blu-ray and digital on June 5th of 2018. It's an interesting premise. It's not a great movie. I think it's okay. The first half kind of suffers. The second half definitely is worth it. There's some jokes that still don't work in the second half, but the plot kicked into gear in the second half. And I do like the premise. It's a group of former TV stars and comic book artists, see, that counts, who make their living on the convention circuit, which there's nothing to be ashamed of. If you make your money at Comic-Con, more power to you, or any convention. Don't ever be ashamed of that. At least you're earning an honest living, unlike these jackasses that are, these freaking SAG writers that are marching around town to get noticed so that they get paid more. Pay them and tell them to get the hell out of here. See? At least the convention people don't do that shit. They don't go on strike. They haven't. The last time a convention was canceled was 2020 because of the pandemic. That's a legitimate excuse. Better pay is not a freaking needed thing to strike every 10 years. Anyway, I digress. They decide to steal the earnings from the promoter. That's an interesting premise. It's like Ocean's 11 or Ant-Man, but inside of a convention, and a comic book convention. And I love the costumes in the movie. That's something I really enjoy. I like some of the performances. I think Clancy Brown is a great villain. John Malkovich is really awesome. He's almost awesome in everything. Maggie Grace is beautiful. I could do without the anime hair. I think, that looks weird that these women in public are wearing, they have, orange hair, green hair, purple hair. I'm like, you're not an anime character. Unless you're cosplaying, it just looks weird. Russell Peters, I think he does a good performance, even though half of his dialogue is, that's the biggest problem I have with the movie. Some of the dialogue is just painful. It's like Peacemaker. Every other joke is either a sex joke, a profanity, or something dirty. And I'm like, guys, it's not the 90s anymore. You can write better dialogue. You can. James Gunn has the same problem. When he's in an R-rated set, everything has to be the F word or talking about dicks or pussy. I'm like, we get it already. You're sophomoric. We get it. But the actors try. I mean, Ryan Quannen, he's from True Blood. He's an Australian actor. He's just kind of there. His character's kind of a douche. But at the end, I kind of root for him and Russell Peters, because I like Russell Peters the best of the two guys, mainly because he gets screwed because he was an Indian actor. He's from Canada, and he plays this kid named Hachi, and Clancy Brown keeps slapping him on the ass, which, by the way, that's sexual assault. That's a Weinstein. And if I learned anything from the past 10 years of all these allegations, don't put your hands on people without consent. It's not worth it. If I met Maggie Grace, I wouldn't grab her ass because I'm not like that. People think I'm like that, but I'm not loose with my hands. But the film, the second half, Mike Epps is very funny in the movie. I think he steals the show. He just makes me laugh in almost everything I see him in. He is saying what the audience is saying. There's also a gay guy in the movie, but I don't care. I don't watch it for him. Hey, Spidey, what's up? You have a bunch of cameos. Zach Knudsen is one of the judges. At the convention, you see a lot of people dressing up in costumes from these made-up TV shows. I think it's called Full Force or something like that. And it shows how some people don't care about their fans. They just want to get paid and leave. I get them wanting to get paid, comic book artists and panelists and cosplayers and all that. I get it, but with actors, don't put your ego to the side. When you go to these conventions, treat your fans respectively and don't overcharge them. That's what Clancy Brown does. There's this mentally ill kid. He's got Down syndrome, so he's not autistic. And he asked him for our autograph. He's like, "No, give me $75." I'm like, "Yeah, I'm not going to do that unless you're at a table. I'm not going to do that." And then there's at the end, he gets his comeuppance where they film him, having a breakdown outside of the convention, and they're like, "You're banned for life," and he's like, and then these two podcasters put him on the spot. It's pretty funny though. That is kind of clever. And Brodus Clay's in the movie too. The wrestler is it Tyrus? Yeah, Tyrus. He's a retired professional wrestler. George Murdoch. He was Brodus Clay in WWE in the early 2010s. He does fine. He's a bodyguard for Adam King. And the film's short. It's only about an hour and 34 minutes. So it's not. It says 100 minutes. No, that's 6 minutes of end credits. It goes by quick. There's some stupid humor in the beginning. It's an R-rated comedy, so that's what you got to expect it. And there's a lot of weed smoking, drinking, etc. But it is what it is. But I didn't hate it. Like the first half, I was like, it's a slow burn when it comes to the comedy. But once they get to the convention and the plot kicks in, it's all right. I don't hate it. It does have it does have its moments. I will say that where I was smiling. I'm like, oh, okay, that's kind of funny and that's kind of clever. And I love the costumes. If you're into seeing people in costumes, some of them copyrighted, this is the film for you. It's on Peacock, so you can stream it for free. You don't have to pay to see it. Just stream it. It is not the worst comedy I've ever seen. See Disaster Movie. That is horrible. That doesn't have jokes as references. Here, at least there are some jokes that land. And I think it's a bit underrated, not great. So don't expect a comedy masterpiece like Blazing Saddles or something, or Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. But it is what it is. If you can handle a Kevin Smith movie, you can handle this. But Supercon is okay. It's an okay time waster at best. So thanks for watching, guys. Take care. Acknowledge me, like I always say. Acknowledge me. And if you watch Supercon, if you don't enjoy it, I get it. It's not for everybody. Critics hated it. But I don't, I get that for the first half. The second half is all right. So see you in the next one, guys. Peace.